Right now, the head of Madison School and Community Recreations Department has been arrested and charged with possession of child pornography.
And the Beaver Dam School District says its middle school will be open in time for the first day of classes a week after an alleged drunk driver crashed into the building.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The executive director of a popular after-school program in Madison is on leave tonight.
This is after Madison Schools learned he is facing charges of possessing child pornography. Amy Reed joins us now to explain what we know about the situation so far. Amy?
44-year-old Jacob Tissue was booked into the Dane County Jail tonight. He faces tentative charges with multiple counts of possession of child pornography. A news release from the McFarland Police Department says the case is not related to any other recent investigations. A spokesperson for the Madison Metropolitan School District said as soon as they learned about this, they put Tissue on leave. She released a statement tonight on Tissue's arrest saying, quote, "As educators, we take the well-being and safety of our students as priority number one." She said the news was difficult for the district to grasp, and they'll continue to work with law enforcement and take action based on the criminal process. Tissue will remain on leave until the outcome of that process. In the meantime, Janet Dyer will take over as acting MSCR director. MSCR has served as the public recreation provider for Madison since 1926 and works with MMSD for a variety of programs and services for all ages. McFarland Police said if you have any information related to this case, please contact them. We have that information over on our website, channel3000.com.
And the McFarland teacher arrested earlier this week is not being allowed back into the village for at least the next 4 weeks. In court today, Andrew Meeks was not formally charged, but a judge did ban him from entering McFarland and ordered him to be under GPS monitoring. Meeks was arrested Tuesday on tentative charges of child enticement and causing mental harm to a child. The judge gave the prosecution 4 weeks to file a criminal complaint. He'll be back in court September 26th.
Lake Delton police have arrested a suspect in an attempted child abduction investigation. The man is now facing several felony charges. Gabriella Becerra shares the response from police and neighbors.
James Sellers, a 22-year-old man, was arrested today months after allegedly breaking into a home in his own neighborhood and taking a 2-year-old from her bedroom. According to police, the suspect left the child outside and took off running. Chief Daniel Hardman says this case couldn't be solved based on physical evidence alone.
Combination of field officers getting on scene, preserving the evidence techs being able to recover the physical evidence. But then they needed to do old-fashioned door-to-door knocking and talking to people.
While officials did collect evidence from the scene,
this one was interesting for the fact that it was kind of the trifecta of evidence. We had biological in the form of DNA, we had latent fingerprint evidence, and we also had our tread or footwear evidence on the outside of the residence.
Lake Delton police say they also needed to speak with neighbors.
We talked to everybody in every residence, and we're verifying stories of people's whereabouts and whatnot. So his name came up, and we were investigating him as well as many others during that time frame.
One neighbor says this incident was surprising.
We've never had anything in the neighborhood or in the whole park, something like this.
Others are keeping a closer watch on their kids.
We got kind of worried about it. We kind of speak, we have a lot of talk with our sons, just kind of stay in the house, we kind of lock the house most of the time, and yeah, we're keeping a really close eye on them.
Police say residents in the Deer Run Estates neighborhood don't need to be worried, although they should always lock their doors.
This is a situation that is every parent's nightmare. And, just be vigilant in making sure that your windows and doors are secured.
Detective Sean Posowitz says conducting the neighbor interviews led to other neighbors reporting break-ins as well. He says they have open investigations connected to Stellars.
President Trump is canceling his trip to Poland this weekend to monitor Hurricane Dorian. Vice President Mike Pence will go to Poland in his place. The hurricane may make landfall on Labor Day as a powerful Category 4 hurricane. Forecasters say Dorian's winds could top 130 miles an hour when it comes ashore, anywhere from South Florida to the Georgia border. The view from the International Space Station Thursday shows the hurricane increasing in size over the Atlantic. Let's go now to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canaldi.
Well, we now are watching Dorian increasing in intensity. The very latest from the National Hurricane Center has it as a Category 2 hurricane with top winds of 105 miles per hour. The forecast is going to strengthen it into a Category 3 hurricane by tomorrow afternoon, and basically a Category 3 or Category 4 hurricane as it approaches the East Florida coast and then moves inland. Some of the very latest computer model forecasts indicate that Dorian will then curve toward the north and maybe affect parts of Georgia and the Carolinas. Weather track around Wisconsin, very quiet. Thunderstorms really never materialized over southern Wisconsin, and after high temperatures today in the lower 80s, temperatures have already fallen into the 50s and 60s. Dew point temperatures are low, so the air is drying out, and by tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the lower 50s. Look for a high tomorrow in the middle 70s with sunny skies. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thanks. Some cool training today up at Devil's Lake. Emergency first responders learned how to extricate someone from the cliffs with the help of a military helicopter. Assistant Fire Chief Mark Willer says the most valuable part of the training is building relationships between first responders and National Guard soldiers. Aerial rescue training also happened today at Syracuse Recreational Park in Adams County and the Sauk Prairie Recreational Area. The Beaver Dam School District says all areas of the middle school will be operational for the first day of the school year next week. That's with the exception of the gym, locker rooms, and library. A suspected drunk driver crashed into the side of the building last Wednesday while fleeing from police. In a press release today, the district plans to have the library open shortly after the start of the school year and hopes to have the gym ready by early December. They expect the total cost of the damages here to be more than $500,000.
State health officials say THC vaping products were involved in a majority of cases where people developed severe lung diseases after vaping. Of the 27 people DHS interviewed, 89% reported they had used vaping devices to inhale the THC before they got sick. Despite that finding, health officials say they are still investigating all possible causes of the illness. The city is working to keep its public beaches cleaner. Starting next year, the designated swimming areas at each beach will be closed off with a plastic floating barrier that extends to the lake bed. Any dirty water from the swim area will be pumped to the treatment facility and then returned to the designated swimming area once it's clean. The installment was announced today, but will start next summer. The city hopes the facilities will eliminate beach closures that happen due to harmful algae blooms.
Still ahead tonight, the final preseason game of the year with the Packers. We'll have highlights in sports.
But first, a Madison woman's mission on 2 wheels, doing something good, helping people battling a deadly disease. Stay with us. I'm not telling something you don't already know. Madison is a great place to bike. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed not to find someone on their bicycle on any given day of the year. A woman on Madison's east side is using her bicycle for 2 decades now to do something good for those who are fighting an incurable disease.
So this is my friend Ray, and he still lives in California.
Looking through old pictures.
Isn't he cute?
Very cute. Can bring back a lot of great memories.
Daniel was the drum major of the Madison Scouts, and he just passed 2 years ago.
It can also remind you of who's no longer here.
I had several friends that had passed from AIDS in the 80s.
And the number of friends lost continues to go up.
It is hard. Well, yeah, it's maddening, especially in the beginning when nobody knew what was going on. It was scary more than anything. And watching your friends just fade away.
Determined to keep her friends' memories alive, Kristen Matthews hopped on her bicycle.
I've been fortunate enough, plus I'm super stubborn, so that helps, to be able to do it for 20 years.
She started riding in the Heartland AIDS Ride 20 years ago until she and a core group of people started Madison's own AIDS Ride.
I've become a ride leader. I mentor new riders. This year I was on the organizing committee of the ride, so I've been very, very involved. The people that ride are still cut from the same cloth. Their heart's in the right place. You know, we still are there for each other. We're there for the right reason.
And that reason, there's still no cure.
People that suffer from HIV, AIDS, you know, they don't have it easy. They have to take multiple medications every day to stay alive. A lot of times it makes them ill. You know, it's not an easy life at all.
This summer's 275-mile 3-day ride marked Kristen's 20th.
It was probably the toughest ride I've ever done in 20 years. Every year I have those moments where I'm like, God, can I keep going? When I come to that moment where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And then I start just saying their names in my head. And that's what keeps me going.
Even though Kristen makes sure she crosses that finish line year after year, she knows the real work isn't over yet.
AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin still helps hundreds and hundreds of people every year. Great services. It's the #1 service organization in the country.
And helping is something she pledges to do for as long as she can.
Isn't that what we're here for? To me personally, life isn't about just going to work, punching in a clock, getting a paycheck. You're here to make a difference and to make a change for the better in society.
A change for others, so they don't have the same fate as her friends.
I think they'd be happy that I took the time to care.
Kristen, thank you for doing something good, and I hope you truly understand the positive impact you have made and continue to make. So planning for next year's ride is getting underway already, and the number of riders has gone down over the years. So let's get that back up, shall we? If you can help, donate, volunteer, or want to ride, please email aidsridewisconsin@arcw.org. If you know of a person, business, or organization doing something good, please let me know. Fill out a nomination at channel3000.com/do-something-good.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us now as we get ready for a holiday weekend around here and keep a close eye on what's happening down with Hurricane Dorian.
Yeah, we showed Dorian earlier in the newscast. Around here, things are going to be pretty quiet for the weekend. Today we started out with dry air and clear skies this morning, and then we saw some cumulus clouds pop up. We thought there might be some showers or storms, and there were a couple of light showers west of Madison, but by the time we got to around 5:30, the front was already through and the skies were already starting to clear. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. Very quiet out there. It's clear and it's comfortable. High today 83, the low 51. So a big swing in the temperatures that dry air this morning. We're at 66 now with clear skies. Dew point temperatures dropped to 50, so it'll be a cool night tonight. You can see showers and thunderstorms to the south and west. These are the storms that we thought might form into southern Wisconsin. Those have moved off to the east. Now we have high pressure coming in from the west, and that'll give us quiet conditions for tomorrow. Notice the temperatures already in the lower 50s up across northern portions of Minnesota. So our forecast for tonight calls for mostly clear skies. A little cooler, low temperature dropping to 52, and then for tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 74 degrees, sunny skies, a little cooler than today. As we check out future track, quiet conditions overnight, low temperatures in the lower 50s, highs tomorrow mid-70s. Tomorrow night, some clouds start to come in, but right now it looks dry, and on Saturday, I think the best chances of showers will be late in the day, mainly south of Madison. Otherwise, we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, look for quiet weather on Sunday and Labor Day Monday, warm for Tuesday, and then temperatures between about 75 and 80 for the rest of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, some of the Packers on the bubble make their case to survive the final roster cuts. Story coming up in sports.
Packers preseason is over. Now it's time to get General Manager Brian Gutekunst to make some difficult decisions as the NFL teams have to cut their rosters to 53 players by Saturday afternoon at 3. Tonight at Lambeau Field, the final preseason game, the Packers against the Kansas City Chiefs. You're always looking for guys to make a big play, to make an impression. That might be just what linebacker Ty Summers needed to make the cut. Summers gets the interception. He goes 74 yards for the touchdown. Mason Crosby missed the extra point. It was 6-3 Packers. And two more guys who probably helped their standing tonight, quarterback Tim Boyle and rookie tight end Jace Sternberger. That's a 2-yard scoring play, but Sternberger was later carted off with an injury. Thankfully, though, the preseason is over. Final score, Packers 27, Chiefs 20. So the Packers go 2-2 in the preseason, which means nothing. What does mean something, a week from tonight, the Packers go to Chicago to play the Bears in a regular season opener, Soldier Field, next Thursday. The Bears lost to Tennessee 19-15 tonight. Badger football team made it to Florida this afternoon. They'll play South Florida in Tampa tomorrow night at 6. The weather forecast for kickoff, it'll feel like 93 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. The Badgers are planning to fly home after the game late Friday night and get out of there well before Hurricane Dorian might hit. Week 2 gets an early start for high school football tonight in Wisconsin Dells. The Chiefs host Lodi. First quarter, Lodi's Quinn Faust airs it out to Cade Parsons. Watch this grab. Nice 34-yard score, 13-0 Blue Devils. Later on, Lodi driving again. Logan Richards takes it in 8 yards for the score. Big night for the Blue Devils. Final score, Lodi 33, Wisconsin Dells 6. Brewers have the night off. They'll start a critical series with the Cubs at Wrigley Field tomorrow afternoon, 1:20 first pitch. Those Cubs wrap up their series in New York tonight against the Mets. Victor Caratini is the story. The Cubs catcher hit 2 homers, drives in 4. Cubs 4, Mets 1. Cubs lead the Brewers by 3 games in the wild card. And we'll be right back.
Ashley.
Gary's here with the final check.
Well, temperatures are cooling off pretty rapidly. We're in the 80s today, but we're already down to the middle 60s. And there are some 50s to our north and west, and that's because the air is drying out. We had a brief surge of moisture. Dew points are in the mid-60s this afternoon. They're already down to around 50 here in Madison. Look for highs in the mid-70s tomorrow. Some rain showers Saturday, mainly south of Madison in the afternoon, and then dry for Sunday and Labor Day. And then temperatures mid-70s for much of next week.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10. We're getting out of here in time for the Colbert Show.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.